hello. Oh, I do need my glasses. I was hoping. Nah, that does not help at all. Sucks being old. So, I'm going to talk about perfectionism and procrastination and a couple of other emotions and things that result from the two, and they're actually very linked. So, I would say it's better done than not done perfectly, as illustrated by the photo on the screen. It's not perfect, it's pretty, you can use it again. It's better done than not done perfectly. Thinking is easy, acting is difficult, put one's thought into action is the most difficult thing in the world. Perfectionism. So as a professional organizer, the examples will be relating to what I do in my day-to-day life, because I have a lot of clients that are perfectionists, and it is my job to manage the expectations of what they really want. So they want it perfect, and they call a professional organizer and say, you know, I've just seen on Better Homes and Gardens that this spring or this autumn we have lime green throw rugs and matching orange cushions on the couch. And then you walk into the living room, and what they really need to have is to have the dirty laundry off that couch. So it has to be perfect, but you're so far away from it, but you don't even tackle the sort of easy problems. Procrastination. A form of self-regulation, failure, characterized by the irrational delay of tasks despite potentially negative consequences. We know that there will be negative consequences, and we still kind of can't do what we want to do. And because we want it perfect, and we can't, we better not do it at all. As professional organizers, some of us work with people with hoarding disorder, and there's a high proportion of people who have OCD and hoarding disorder. And they don't really feel connected, but they are. I can't do it perfect, I might not do it at all. My pantry is a mess, I'd leave my groceries on the bench top. So they are connected. Perfectionism and procrastination can lead to overwhelm. So we create overwhelm, and again, an example, a colleague of mine, I reached out to my community to get stories together. She was decluttering living room, lovely coffee table. 3 of these legs were carved from the coffee table. She started chatting about that, and the client said, yeah, I did the carving myself. And 1 leg was missing. And the organizer asked, so how long has that been? How long did you have that 1 leg missing? And the client said 36 years. So it has to be perfect, you are procrastinating, it's all overwhelming, you're not doing it at all. And then in that case, it just needed the permission. Talk about it, the permission of, but you could just let it go. You don't need to finish it. And out it went. So sometimes you just need permission to let go. Perfectionism means procrastination. Sometimes we just think too much about it. So you want to declutter and get organized, and then you think, where should I start? I need to buy something. Takes you half an hour, your motivation and the time frame is gone, and you got nothing done. because you thought too much about where is the best spot to start, rather than just do start and live with the, might not be the perfect start, but it is done. So it is not important where you start, it is important that you start. Some solutions, I by no way say I know it all. I know a bit. You might too. Create routines. So if you find excuses for things all the time, if you create a routine to, for example, always make your bed in the morning. Force yourself to do it. You wake up, make your bed. Force yourself to do it for 2 weeks. Apparently it takes 2 weeks to create a routine. Some people are 3, but that seems to be the research. After 2 weeks, you would get out of bed and make your bed automatically. You don't have to think about it. Your brain doesn't even kick in. And if your brain doesn't kick in, your brain does not come forward with an excuse. It's done. Before your brain realizes, oh, I didn't really want to make my bed, it is done. So your brain is on the coffee or on your plans for the day, and that actually works for a lot of things. Another idea to get over perfectionism and procrastination is have a to-do list. First, have one, and have one, not multitude. Ideally, you link it to your calendar in some way, because sometimes to-do items need to be done at a certain time or a certain day. And it's good to have that one in one device. And I'm not talking it has to be in the cloud or on your mobile phone. I'm a paper person. Just have one and possibly link it. It will calm your mind because you lose the stress of thinking, I'm forgetting something. You write it down, it's out of your head, and it will calm your mind. You won't forget. And the ticking off with to-do lists is sort of very rewarding. That's why a lot of people have it. And rewards are great things. It's kind of, whether you cross it out or tick it off, that is the reward to having done something. So when it comes to having to-do lists, apparently President Eisenhower used this, and that is called the President Eisenhower Urgent and Important Matrix. Bit of a mouthful. You can Google this. It's not my invention. And we are sorting all our tasks, whether they are urgent or important. So the first one is urgent and, this is not right, urgent and important, not urgent and important. Start thinking with these, whether you know things that kind of would go into that category. Urgent and not important, and not urgent and not important. And we all have things on our to-do list that fit into one of these quadrants. Urgent and important. There's a fire you get out of your house. That's kind of a good example of urgent and important. Crises, deadlines, problems. Pay your credit card, urgent and important. The toilet is blocked, you ring a plumber. Urgent and important. You do it straight away. So urgent and important tasks need to be done. Not urgent, but important. Exercise is not urgent, but it's very important. Relationships, we've heard about that. Not urgent, but important. Study, craft, kind of goes the exercise way. We plan for these. So a real-life example would be, it's not urgent but important that you ring the dentist and make an appointment for a checkup. You don't wait till it is urgent and important. You don't wait for the toothache. So plan for it so it doesn't get to the urgent and important. Urgent and not important. Interruptions. Very often other people's urgent and important are put onto you, but they're not important for you, but they're urgent for the other person. Interruptions, meetings, and visitors. And we try to delegate these. A really good one of urgent and not important is emptying the dishwasher. It is important. It's urgent that it gets emptied because otherwise you don't have a space for your dirty dishes. But you don't have to do it yourself. If there's other people living in your house, trust me, 4-year-olds can unpack a dishwasher. I've tried 3 times. And then there is not urgent and not important. A lot of these things don't even make it onto your to-do list very often. And then you do them anyway, and then you realize, I didn't get anything done of my to-do list. So delete them, like trivia, social media, time wasters. I do workshops with teenagers for study skills, and that's what they do. They go to their room, tell their parents, I'm studying, and they do bugger all, come out there and say, I'm so tired. I've studied for 6 hours, when in reality they didn't. So they just did, not urgent and not important. I don't agree they have to be absolutely deleted because we do check Facebook or mindless web browsing for a reason because our brain needs a rest, but it's good to have it on your to-do list and kind of balance it to make it a healthy to-do list. So these are the 4 quadrants. Get it done. Eat the frog. Switch off online interruptions. Don't multitask. Make appointments with yourself. Multitasking is proven to not work. Someone told me the only multitasking you should do is read the papers on the loo. And making appointments with yourself. You make appointments with other people. People call me, make an appointment, stick to it. They're home, they're prepared to pay money. Do the same for yourself. If the tasks you want to do are that important, that's why I said that to do is a good idea to be linked to your calendar in some way. Break up big tasks into lots of smaller ones. If it looks overwhelming, just do a little bit. There's no rule that you have to declutter and organize your pantry, the whole piece of furniture in one go. Do one shelf and then the next. Choose the right task. This might sound like a bit of an opportunity for an excuse, but if you planned to declutter the pantry cupboard tomorrow and you woke up and your back is that's not the right task. So just be a little bit flexible around this. Have a list of small tasks. Sometimes we actually suddenly rock up with time. Something gets cancelled. Something is quicker. It's good to have a list where you without thinking too much, as I said, overwhelmed, don't think too much. You just go to this task and then, I can do this in 5 minutes. And it's off your to-do list, it's off your mind too. Because that's what the to-do list does. It gives us too much happening in our head. Embrace imperfection. That's the first slide with the Chinese repaired ceramics. That's a very old tradition to do this, embracing imperfection. Visible mending. Be honest with yourself. What do you think you do? Like the student telling the parents, I've studied. What do you actually do? They're 2 different things, and we have to be honest with ourselves. And with that honesty actually comes the realization, am I really ready to change? Or pre-contemplation, no intention of changing whatsoever. You're thinking about it, but you're not really there. Contemplation, aware that there is a problem. Huge issue in my job, people actually knowing that they have too much stuff and need help, and then asking for it. Preparation, intent on taking action. Maintenance, sustained change. And relapse, just live with them. They will happen. But knowing that they will, kind of don't beat yourself up if they do happen. Another option is, rather than picking a task and doing it, is you pick a time and finish the time, not the task. It's very, very helpful for the task where you don't know how long they take, or the stuff you really, really hate doing. So it's called the Pomodoro method. It's invented by a student in Milan, and he took his mum's kitchen timer in the shape of a tomato, and that's what he did. So you decide on a task to be done. Paperwork, really good task for this. No one knows how long paperwork takes. 20 minutes, 20 hours. Who knows? So you decide to do paperwork. You set the Pomodoro timer to 30 minutes. You don't need a kitchen timer. You can download apps on the phone. 30 minutes. You work till the timer rings. I do this with clients. A lot of people are very competitive. You realize some of the Pomodoro timers you can download actually tick quicker towards the end, and people really get into it. It's kind of they throw stuff at me, and this needs to go in the bin. I want to see how much more I can get done till the timer rings. Anyone neurodiverse, switch the ticking off. It's going to drive you bananas. Take a short break. This is kind of set up for learning or office. You do 4 Pomodoros, all with a 5-minute break in between, and then after 4 Pomodoros, you take a longer break, and then the afternoon is just 2 Pomodoros. The consequence of procrastination and perfectionism can be dire, can negatively impact our mental health, hinder career progress, strain relationships, and limit our overall quality of life. It's crucial to recognize these consequences and acknowledge that change is necessary. This might have sounded a little bit pushy. That's my brand. Being a bit scary, get stuff done. Do be aware of what too much does to your headspace. I have not taken into consideration people with depression and anxiety, and some of these tips kind of could be absolutely wrong for you. So I'm just saying, don't judge others or yourself. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Remember that making mistakes, it's a natural part of growth. So, chill. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something.